The alarm sirens echoed through the colossal Zaharian dreadnought like furious steel birds. Admiral Vexthor's 4 eyes locked on the main display where 3 small blips emerged at the far edge of space. His long, jointed fingers tapped the console as he examined the readings. "What are those things?" he demanded. Lieutenant Zakra peered at her scanners, brow furrowed. "Sir, they appear to be vessels, but crude ones. Simple metal hulls. No shields, no plasma arrays visible." The Admiral chuckled, a harsh, grinding sound. "Scavenger craft, perhaps? Pirates. They'll scatter when they see us." But the 3 ships did not scatter. They advanced. "Sir," the gunnery officer called, "something's off with the scans. They're accelerating at 15 gravities. That should pulverize any living crew." The Admiral's laughter died. In 3 centuries of service, nothing without elite. Imperial tech had moved so fast. Such primitive metal boxes should never achieve it. "Transmit standard ultimatum," he ordered. "Surrender or be destroyed." The comms officer keyed in the transmission, the same warning that had made 1,000 worlds kneel. Broadcast in every known tongue, it promised certain death to those who defied the Empire. It had never failed, until now. The reply came as strange. Audio the computers failed to parse at first. When the translation module resolved it, the output stunned the bridge. Laughter. Not fearful, not strained. Joyful laughter, like old friends sharing a joke. "They're laughing at us?" Zakra asked, incredulous. Before the Admiral could respond, a second message arrived. This one was perfectly clear. "Thanks for the heads up, space friends. We'll be right over. Hope you brought snacks." The bridge fell into utter silence. In the annals of the Galactic Empire, no one had ever answered an Imperial threat with such breezy cheer. "Sir," the tactical officer whispered. What now? Vexthor had crushed rebellions, enslaved entire species, conquered 40 systems. Yet no training manual covered this. The Imperial Codex outlined the annihilation of enemies, not how to handle strangers who treated lethal warnings like party invites. The human craft drew closer, weaving through the void in baffling arcs, spinning, looping, darting near collision yet never touching. "Are they showing off?" the gunnery officer asked. "I think so," Vexthor admitted, "but I've never witnessed flying like this." Another transmission followed. "Hey there, we're Captain Sarah Chen, Commander Mike Rodriguez, and Captain Lo Wei. Nice ships, very shiny. We're from Earth. Where are you from?" The comms officer stared at Vexthor, bewildered. "Sir, they're speaking as if we just met in a marketplace." The Admiral's mind churned, searching for context. Were the humans insane? Were they concealing some devastating weapon? Or were they so advanced they regarded Imperial warships as no threat at all? "Scan them again," Vexthor ordered sharply. "Locate their armaments, their shields, anything that explains this." The results brought even greater impossibilities. The human craft had no energy shields, yet their hulls, thick, dense metal, were far stronger than standard plating. No plasma arrays, but peculiar devices resembling construction tools. Stranger still, the interiors were packed with repair, gear, spare components, and objects clearly meant for games and entertainment. "Sir," the science officer reported, "I believe these beings travel vast distances. For amusement. Their ships emphasize comfort and maintenance, not combat." "Fun," the Admiral repeated flatly. "They cross the galaxy for fun?" Another human message arrived. "We noticed a little trouble in your port engine core." "Nothing. Major, we could fix it if you'd like. Mike's great with engines. Repaired ours 17 times last month." The tactical officer quickly checked the diagnostics. "Sir, there is a minor fluctuation. How could they detect it? Our own engineers hadn't caught it yet." Vexthor felt something he had not in decades: uncertainty. These humans diagnosed Imperial systems better than Imperial sensors, flew with more skill than Imperial aces, and treated lethal threats as neighborly chats. What are these beings? He wondered. The answer came sooner than expected. One of the human craft drifted near, close, enough for every viewport to capture it in detail, yet still beyond engagement range. By Imperial measure, it was crude, as if built in a humble workshop, but also executed with meticulous craftsmanship, every weld flawless, every joint perfectly aligned. Simple, resilient. A human face appeared on the comm screen, Captain Sarah. Chen, middle-aged, short dark hair, bright eyes. Her plain work clothes were smudged with grease, her expression warm. "Hello there," she said, as if greeting old acquaintances. "Sorry if we startled you. We spotted your ships and thought we'd say hi. Not many travelers out here. Are you explorers too?" Vexthor stared, astonished. She treated his dreadnought, his city-killing arsenal, his conquest-forged crew like casual neighbors over a fence. "We are the Imperial fleet," he answered slowly. "You are trespassing in Imperial space. You will surrender." Her smile broadened. "Oh, you have space regulations? Smart. We should learn them. But surrender feels a bit much for a first meeting, don't you think? Maybe we just talk a while instead?" Behind her, two humans busied themselves, not with weapon prep, but making sandwiches. "Are your people eating during this confrontation?" Vexthor asked, stunned. "Well, yes," Chen replied, matter-of-factly. "It's lunchtime. Want some? We have excellent bread. Lou bakes it from scratch." The bridge crew traded baffled glances. These humans offered food to an Imperial fleet that had just threatened annihilation. "I do not understand your species," Vexthor admitted. "That's fine," Chen said cheerfully. "We're still figuring ourselves out, but we've learned most problems are easier to solve when everyone's fed and willing to talk." Vexthor realized everything he knew about war, diplomacy, and first contact was suddenly worthless. These humans played by rules utterly alien, and yet somehow those rules made their actions seem almost rational. His crew stared at the screen, with the same unsettled fascination in his chest. "Captain Chen," he said at last, "I believe we should talk." "Excellent," she replied. "Want to come aboard? Our coffee's better." 3 days later, the Galactic Council's great hall swarmed with agitation. 200 world delegates hovered in their seats, speaking in urgent tones. Above them, the dome displayed star charts cluttered with red warning symbols. High Arbiter Kel Dawn struck the ceremonial gong, its resonant tones silencing the uproar. "We have a crisis," his amplified voice declared. "Unknown beings have violated Imperial space. They ignored our warnings. They mocked our laws." A massive hologram shimmered above the chamber, 3 ungainly human ships breezing past, Imperial border beacons as though they were trivial roadside markers. "These beings call themselves humans," the Arbiter continued. "They come from a planet named Earth. They have crossed our territories uninvited. Worse, they have accomplished feats that should be impossible." The projection shifted to show Imperial patrol craft, now adorned with inexplicable additions. "They have altered our vessels," Dawn said grimly. "No damage, no violence. The ships were taken, modified, and returned. Crews unharmed, without explanation." Senator Yiktar of the Mining Guild stood. "What modifications?" The image zoomed, revealing a patrol ship with a welded sculpture of flowers. Another bore a small playground, swings, slides, bolted to its flank. "Art," the Arbiter pronounced darkly. "They turned our military vessels into art installations." The council chamber filled with bewildered murmurs. Senator Blueworth of the Trade Federation raised a hand. "Did they steal anything? Harm anyone?" "No," admitted the High Arbiter. In fact, our patrol crews report improved performance. Somehow, while constructing these decorations, the humans repaired multiple mechanical faults previously undetected. The room fell silent once more. This defied reason. The most troubling incident, Keldon continued, occurred at border station Zeta 7. The display shifted to reveal a station orbiting a violet gas giant, ringed by vigilant Imperial warships. The humans approached this fortified position. Our commander ordered them to halt. Instead, they launched a small message probe. The hologram showed a metal cylinder drifting toward the station. The probe contained only this: "Your coffee maker is broken. May we fix it?" Senator Craix of the warrior caste rose, his scarred visage severe. "They offered to repair our equipment?" "Yes." Before any reply was possible, one of their ships somehow penetrated our shields, repaired the coffee unit in the station's break room, and departed. No alarms, no weapons. Our security never even registered them. Uneasy glances passed between delegates. "The commander tested the machine," the arbiter said. "It now brews the finest coffee he has ever consumed. He requests identical upgrades for all stations." That was too much. Voices rose in disbelief and confusion. "Silence!" Dawn's command cut through the noise. "We must answer this threat with strength. I hereby issue the standard Imperial ultimatum." A hologram appeared, formal, bearing the Imperial seal. "The humans will surrender immediately, submit to our laws, pay fines equal to the economic yield of 12 mining worlds, and accept classification as a primitive species under Imperial protection. They have 24 standard hours to comply." Senator Yiktar raised a cautious hand. "And if they refuse?" "Then we respond with force," Dawn replied coldly. Battle fleet. Omega is already moving toward their last known coordinates. The ultimatum went out over every known channel, in every galactic language, backed by the threat of the Empire's most formidable fleet. 12 hours later, the reply came, not through transmissions, but in orbit outside the council chambers. An Imperial patrol ship hung there, deliberately placed, not crashed, not hurled, perfectly positioned for all to see. The vessel was unharmed, the crew alive. But etched into the hull in flawless galactic script were the words, "Counteroffer? How about no? Also, your patrol ship's coffee maker was broken, so we fixed it. You're welcome." Beneath the message gleamed a small metal sculpture, a human hand in what the translators identified as a thumbs-up gesture. The chamber erupted into pandemonium. How did they seize an Imperial patrol craft without detection? Senator Blueworth demanded. How did they carve a message into military-grade hull plating? Demanded Senator Craix. And how did they deliver it here without setting off any of our defense systems? Wondered Senator Yiktar. High Arbiter Keldon studied the incoming reports from the patrol ship's crew. The captain claimed their vessel had been borrowed while they slept. Upon waking, they found themselves in a comfortable lounge stocked with excellent food, entertainment, and educational material on human culture. Hours later, they were courteously returned to their ship, which, incidentally, now performed better than ever. "They treat us like children," the High Arbiter muttered. "Sir," a communications officer interrupted, "we have another message from the humans." "What now?" The officer hesitated. "They've invited the entire Galactic Council to a potluck dinner. They'll bring sandwiches, if we bring side dishes." The chamber went silent except for the hum of the air recyclers. Did they just invite us to lunch? Senator Yiktar asked carefully. "Yes, sir. They even included recipes for human dishes they think we'd enjoy." A dull ache formed behind the High Arbiter's eyes. In 3 millennia of Galactic Council history, no Imperial ultimatum had ever been answered with a dinner invitation. "What sort of beings are these humans?" he asked. The answer came from an unexpected voice. The patrol ship captain whose vessel had been borrowed and returned. Permission to speak, High Arbiter? Granted. They're kind, sir. Strange, but kind. They fixed our ship beyond our engineers' skill, fed us better than our own cooks, treated us as guests, not prisoners. I've fought in 20 campaigns and never met an enemy like this. Enemy? The High Arbiter pressed. That's the problem, sir. I don't think they see us as enemies at all. I think they see us as neighbors we've simply never met properly. The High Arbiter scanned the chamber's 200 bewildered faces. The Empire had procedures for conquest, rebellion, trade disputes, and territorial conflicts, but none for beings who answered threats with friendship and food. What do we do now? Senator Blueworth asked. Keldon realized that only 3 days earlier he had been the confident leader of the galaxy's most formidable government. Now he felt like a parent trying to understand children playing by rules no adult knew. Suppose, he said slowly, we should find out what side dishes go with sandwiches. Admiral Thexvar stood on the bridge of the Imperial Super-Dreadnought Eternal Conquest, watching the largest fleet in galactic history glide through space. 200 ships of the line encircled his flagship, each able to erase worlds from existence. Battle fleet. Omega has never failed, he told his officers with pride. We crushed the Seven Suns Rebellion. We broke the Hive Mind Collective. We made the machine worlds bow. These primitive humans will learn to fear Imperial might. Sir, said his tactical officer, Commander Roz, eyes on the sensors. We're nearing the humans' last known location. Excellent. Ready all weapons. We'll end this quickly. But when the fleet dropped from hyperspace, the Admiral's confidence evaporated. Ahead lay a drifting debris field. Not battle wreckage, but something stranger. What am I seeing? Thexvar asked. Sir, the science officer replied, those appear to be our patrol drones, but modified. The main display zoomed in. Each drone, worth more than some planets, had been transformed. One had become a metallic flower garden with spinning, starlit petals. Another was playground equipment, complete with swings and slides. They've turned our weapons into art, Commander Arthos whispered. And children's toys, added the science officer. That one's a carousel, powered by its own systems. Thexvar's mouth went dry. How many drones? 57, sir. All forward recon units. Destroyed? No, sir. Fully functional. Better than before, in fact. The humans upgraded their power systems during reconstruction. The Admiral stared at the surreal scene. Every drone had been meticulously dismantled, stripped of armaments, then rebuilt into something beautiful and harmless, yet still perfectly operational beneath the decorations. Sir, called the comms officer. Incoming transmission. From where? Behind us. Thexvar turned sharply. Sensors showed 3 crude human ships sliding out. From behind an asteroid. How did they get back there? Roz demanded. I don't know, sir. They weren't there a moment ago. The display switched to the lead ship. Through its viewport, Thexvar could see 3 figures in simple pressure suits. They were waving. Waving at the Imperial fleet as though greeting old friends at a gathering, the figures smiled. The transmission came through crisp and clear. It was the same upbeat woman who had baffled Admiral Vexthor not long before. Hello again, said Captain Sarah Chen. I'm back. I hope you don't mind what we did with your little spy machines. They looked so lonely just drifting there, watching things. Now they can bring joy instead. Admiral Thexvar struggled to make sense of it. You destroyed 57 military drones to make garden ornaments? Oh, we didn't destroy them, Captain Chen replied. We just gave them better jobs. That flower-shaped one still monitors for danger, but it also brightens the view for passing ships. The playground one entertains kids aboard freighters. Far better than spying, don't you agree? Behind her, Thexvar noticed the other 2 humans busily working on a new metal sculpture. You understand, he said slowly, that you face the galaxy's most powerful military? Absolutely, Chen answered cheerfully. Very impressive. Beautiful engineering. Mike here has been studying your engines. He thinks he can boost your fuel efficiency by 30%. Commander Rose whispered urgently, "Sir, our engine efficiency is classified. How do they know?" Thexvar ignored him. "Captain Chen, you are criminals. You have broken Imperial law and damaged military property." "Improved military property," she corrected gently. "And as for criminals, we've harmed no one, stolen nothing. We just make adjustments to improve things. You turned weapons into toys." "Yes. Toys are more fun than weapons, wouldn't you say?" Thexvar felt like he was debating a river. Her words flowed past every objection. "What is it you want?" "Want?" She looked honestly confused. "We don't want anything. We travel, meet people, fix what's broken. It's just what we do." "You fix things?" "Sure. Low. Repaired a busted nav beacon yesterday. Better than new. Mike fixed a damaged freighter last week. The crew wept with joy. I just upgraded life support on an old liner. The passengers said it was the freshest air they'd breathed." "You wander the galaxy repairing things for free?" "Not free. We get to meet people and see incredible places. That's worth more than money." Commander Roz leaned closer. "Sir, could be a trap. Scouts for a bigger force." "Oh, no trap," Chen said, apparently hearing him. "We're no scouts. Just 3 travelers who fix and explore, though there might be a few thousand other ships like ours across the galaxy. Humans love to roam and meet friends." "A few thousand?" Thexvar's voice cracked. "Maybe more. We're not great at keeping count, but they're friendly. Well, mostly. Bob's grumpy before coffee, but harmless." Thexvar glanced at his tactical display, Battlefleet Omega, the galaxy's most feared force, surrounded by art made from their own weapons, facing 3 humans who treated conquest like casual conversation. They waved at the Imperial fleet as if welcoming friends to a celebration. The signal came through crisp and clear. It was the same bright-voiced woman who had baffled Admiral Vexthor a few days earlier. "Hello there," said Captain Sarah Chen. "I'm back. I hope you don't mind what we did with your little spy drones. They looked so pitiful just hovering around, watching. Now, they can bring happiness instead." Admiral Thexvar tried to make sense of it. "You dismantled 57 military drones to make garden ornaments?" "Oh, we didn't dismantle them," Chen answered. "We just gave them new duties. That flower-shaped one still keeps watch, but now it also provides lovely scenery for passing ships. The playground one entertains children on freighters. Much better than simply spying, wouldn't you say?" Behind her, Thexvar spotted the other 2 humans working on some kind of metal sculpture. "You do understand," the Admiral said slowly, "that you are confronting the most powerful military in the galaxy?" "Oh, yes," Chen replied brightly. "Very impressive. Magnificent engineering. Mike here's been looking over your engine layouts. He thinks he can increase your fuel efficiency by 30%. Commander Rose leaned in and whispered, "Sir, that efficiency data is classified. How do they know our fuel rates?" Thexvar ignored him. "Captain Chen, you are criminals. You've broken Imperial law and damaged military assets." "Enhanced military assets," she corrected softly. "And I'm not sure about the criminal part. We've harmed no one, taken nothing. We only improved things." "You turned weapons into toys." "Well, yes. Toys are far more fun than weapons, don't you think?" Thexvar felt like he was arguing with a stream. Her cheerful reasoning slid around every point and resurfaced elsewhere. "What do you want?" he finally asked. "Want?" She looked genuinely surprised. "We don't really want anything. We just travel, meet people, and fix what needs fixing. That's all." "You fix things?" "Of course. Lou fixed a broken nav beacon yesterday. Better than new. Mike repaired a freighter last week. The crew cried with joy. I just upgraded life support on an old passenger ship. The travelers said it was the cleanest air they'd ever breathed." "You wander the galaxy repairing things without pay?" Not without pay. We get to meet fascinating people and see amazing sights. That's worth more than credits. Commander Ross edged closer. Sir, this could be a trap. They might be scouts for a larger fleet. There's no trap, Chen said, apparently overhearing. We're not scouts. Just 3 folks who enjoy fixing and exploring. Though I should say, there might be a few thousand ships like ours scattered around the galaxy. Humans like to roam and make friends. A few thousand? Thexvar's voice cracked. Maybe more. We don't keep close track. But they're all friendly. Well, mostly. Bob gets grumpy before coffee, but he's harmless. Thexvar glanced at the tactical display. Battle Fleet Omega, the galaxy's most feared force, surrounded by art crafted from its own weapons, facing 3 cheerful humans who treated galactic domination like a pleasant chat. Water plant is now operating at full capacity. Filters we didn't even know were failing have been replaced. Energy consumption has dropped by 20%. They also repaired the secondary pipeline we abandoned years ago. High Arbiter Kel Dawn stared at the holoscreen. And you're certain this wasn't sabotage? No, sir. If it is sabotage, it's the friendliest kind I've ever seen. They even left a handwritten note. The general held it up to the camera. We noticed your filters were a bit tired. All fixed now. Enjoy the fresh water. Your friends in orbit. The Arbiter rubbed his temples. How many of these ships are there? Unknown. Rumors say thousands. They appear without warning, repair something, and vanish. Across the Empire, similar reports arrived hourly. Damaged starports functioning flawlessly. Old navigation relays blinking back to life. Military patrol craft returning to find their armor polished, sensors upgraded, and emergency rations restocked with gourmet meals labeled "From the Fix-It Humans." On the remote mining moon of Duraxis 4, a century-old ore refinery, deemed impossible to repair, was running at twice its original output. The foreman found a cheerful drawing taped to the main control panel, a smiling asteroid giving a thumbs up. Governors, admirals, and station masters held emergency meetings. Some wanted to hunt these humans down. Others quietly suggested letting them work, since every encounter left things better than before. In the capital, the Arbiter asked, "Do we know their motives?" General Track Moon hesitated. "They say they just like to help. Travel, meet people, and fix things, that's all." "That's never all," the Arbiter muttered. "In galactic history, no one does anything without wanting something in return." "Sir," the general said carefully, "I'm not sure they read the same history books." That night, Kel Dawn looked out over the glittering skyline of the capital. Below, fountains gushed cleaner than they had in centuries. Somewhere up there, 3 unassuming ships drifted among the stars, armed not with weapons but with tools, spare parts, and unshakable cheer. And for the first time in memory, the most fortified world in the galaxy had been breached, not by enemies, but by kindness. The water supply has been completely upgraded. The High Arbiter felt the beginnings of a familiar headache. Upgraded how? The taste is unmatched, better than anything we've ever known. It's purer than medical-grade distilled water. They've installed filtration units designed to last centuries without upkeep. Where are they now? We're not certain, sir. They vanished as abruptly as they arrived, but left something in your private office. Kellon hurried to his chambers in the council complex. On his desk rested a small potted plant beside a note. Every office needs something green. This one will purify your air and barely needs water. We hope it brings you peace. Sarah, Mike, and Lou. The plant was unlike anything in the Galactic. Botanical archives. Its softly luminous leaves seemed to radiate calm, and the air smelled like the first morning of spring. As incoming reports piled up, a clear pattern emerged. The humans appeared wherever repairs were needed, never asking consent, never requesting payment, never causing harm. They simply fixed things and left them better than before. On Factory 7, they upgraded production lines to eliminate waste entirely. On the research station Deep Thought, they restored dormant experimental apparatus decades beyond repair. On the penal colony Last Chance, they enhanced rehabilitation systems and left behind a library filled with works on redemption. Senator Blueworth convened an urgent assembly. "We must determine what these humans want," she declared. "They want nothing," Senator Yichtar replied, scanning an ever-growing stack of field reports. "They fix, they leave, they demand nothing." "No one behaves that way," Senator Krax argued. "There must be a hidden scheme." "If there is," Yichtar said, "it's the oddest in galactic history. They're improving everything. Our infrastructure runs smoother, our citizens are happier, and problems vanish before we can address them." From security briefings, Kellen saw the same conclusion. No harm, only improvements. "Sir, AA?" Communications officer interrupted. "We have a general broadcast from all human ships within Imperial borders. Put it through." Captain Sarah Chen's familiar face appeared, now with dozens of humans behind her in work-worn clothing, all wearing that same friendly smile. "Hello, everyone," Chen began brightly. "We've been traveling through your space for a few days and wanted to thank you for being so welcoming. We've met incredible people and seen amazing places." She gestured to those behind her. "These are some of our friends helping across the galaxy. We've loved fixing things and making new friends." Kellen leaned forward. "Captain Chen, what do you want from the Empire?" "Want?" She looked honestly puzzled. "We don't want anything. We're just glad we could help things run a little smoother." "But why? Why aid strangers? Why repair what's not yours?" Chen's smile turned warmer. "Because that's what neighbors do. When you see something broken, you fix it. When someone needs help, you give it. It's not complicated. But you must expect something. In return, credits, resources, territory," Blueworth pressed. "Oh, we're getting plenty," Chen replied. "We're learning astonishing technologies, seeing beautiful worlds, meeting fascinating people. We're getting the best education in the galaxy just by traveling and helping." Senator Krax could no longer restrain himself. "But you're giving far more than you're taking." "Are we?" Captain Chen's expression turned thoughtful. "I don't believe so. Each time we repair something, we discover something new. Every person we encounter teaches us something of worth. Every world we step upon offers us a fresh perspective on living. We're receiving as much as we give, perhaps even more." The chamber fell into deep silence as delegates from 200 worlds struggled to grasp the idea. At last, High Arbiter Kel Dawn voiced the question on everyone's mind. "How many of you are there?" Chen's smile widened. "That's difficult to measure. Our numbers grow daily. Earth continues launching explorer ships, and we keep meeting species eager to join us. The galaxy is full of those who love repairing and helping their neighbors." "Other species?" "Certainly. We've gained remarkable friends along the way. Voran engineers excel in quantum mechanics. Yildari artisans create breathtaking sculptures. Nexus farmers cultivate food enough to nourish whole worlds. Many beings delight in improving what they find." Keldon realized the humans had achieved the unthinkable, beginning a movement founded not upon conquest or profit, but on simple kindness, and it was spreading across the galaxy like a gentle revolution. "What comes next?" he asked. "Next?" Chen gave a casual shrug. "We keep journeying, keep repairing, keep making friends. There's an entire galaxy filled with extraordinary people and intriguing problems to solve." As the signal ended, the council sat in awed quiet. The humans had entered their space uninvited, disregarded their regulations, bypassed their defenses, and penetrated even their most secure installations. And, somehow, the galaxy was better for it. 6 months after first contact, Admiral Vexthor could hardly recognize his flagship. Once the sterile bridge of an Imperial warship, it now resembled a blend of workshop and cozy lounge. Human tools hung neatly from newly mounted hooks. Bright charts decorated the walls. The scent of fresh coffee drifted through the air. He located Captain Sarah Chen exactly where he expected, elbow deep in the main computer core, humming what she called classic Earth rock. "Good morning, Sarah," he greeted, still surprised at how natural that felt. "Morning, Vex," she replied cheerfully, using the shortened name that somehow felt more comfortable than his full title. "Almost finished with your navigation upgrade. This beauty will plot courses 60% faster when I'm done." "The ship worked fine before," he noted without any real objection. "It worked," she agreed. "But it didn't sing. Now it will sing." Vexthor had learned not to challenge her metaphors. For Sarah, a machine that sang was one whose systems harmonized flawlessly, and he had watched her make it happen countless times. "Any word from the capital?" she asked, emerging from the computer housing. "Yes. Another formal grievance from the bureaucratic union. They claim your people are putting efficiency specialists out of work." Sarah laughed. "Tell them we're glad to teach anyone interested. Mike started a repair workshop on Station LA. Beta 9 last week. 20 Imperial engineers joined his first class." Vexthor shook his head in amazement. In half a year, the humans had transformed Imperial space, not through politics or force, but with competence and boundless goodwill. Every world they touched functioned better. Every system ran smoother. Every person seemed brighter with hope. It was the strangest invasion in galactic history. "Sarah," he said, easing into a chair modified for maximum comfort. "Can I ask you something?" "Always." "How do your people do it? How do you make everything work so well?" She wiped her hands with a cloth and sat opposite him. "I'm not sure what you mean." "This," he said, gesturing to the bridge. "My ship's performance is unmatched. My crew is happier than I've ever seen. Our patrol route feels like a series of friendly visits, not military checkpoints. How do you make changes so effortlessly?" Sarah paused, thinking. "Can I tell you about my grandfather?" "Of course. He was a mechanic on Earth, fixed cars for a living. When I was little, I'd watch him work. People brought him machines that were broken, frustrating, and somehow he not only fixed their cars, but sent them home smiling." She glanced around the bridge with clear fondness. "One day I asked him how he did it. He told me the secret wasn't just in the fixing, it was in the caring. Every machine, every system, every problem, he said, was tied to people. Repair the machine with care, and you help the person. Help the person with kindness, and they remember there's good in the universe." Admiral Vexthor reflected on that. "But you do more than fix machines. You've reorganized our supply lines, improved diplomatic procedures, even redesigned our recreation areas." "Same principle," Sarah replied. "Systems are just bigger machines made of people instead of parts. Treat the people with respect. Understand their real needs, and the whole system runs better." A comm alert chimed, cutting into their conversation. The main screen lit up with High Arbiter Kel Dawn calling from the capital. "Admiral Vexthor," the High Arbiter began, then hesitated. "Is that Captain Chen working on your bridge systems again?" "Hello, Kel," Sarah called, waving from near the computer core. "Almost finished with the navigation upgrade." The High Arbiter sighed, but with fondness, not frustration. "Captain Chen, the Emperor wishes to speak with you." "Oh, good. I've been wanting to meet him. Mike discovered some upgrades for the palace water gardens. That's exactly why he's calling. Your friend Mike apparently redesigned the entire palace ecosystem overnight. The Emperor awoke to find his private gardens producing food, purifying air, and generating enough renewable energy to power half the capital." Sarah beamed. "Mike does great work. Did the Emperor like it?" "He called it the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. Then he asked me to arrange this meeting." Vexthor watched in amazement. 6 months ago, unauthorized modifications to imperial property would have meant execution. Now, the Emperor wanted to thank the culprits. There's more, the High Arbiter added. The Emperor plans to make an announcement to the entire galaxy. The screen widened to reveal the grand throne room of the Imperial Palace. The Emperor sat on the golden throne that had cowed rulers for